Hundreds of convicted criminals in Travis County, including murderers and rapists, may get a second shot in court. The reason? DNA results that may have been compromised, and not just by the Austin Police Department's shuttered lab. New tonight, we have learned some work performed by the Texas Department of Public Safety lab is also questionable. The Travis County District Attorney's Office tells us nearly 1,400 cases are now under review, and that number is expected to grow. Cases where certain DNA results may have been miscalculated. Cases that go all the way back to 1985. KXAN's Brittany Glass takes an in-depth look at the impact it's already having on those who claim they're innocent.
Another chance at justice.
Wrong statistics being given on DNA mixture cases.
That could be the case for Stephen Michael Levy, convicted in the 1988 murder of Deborah Guess, who was found killed in her South Austin home. Charges against him didn't hold up until 2000, thanks to new DNA evidence. It's that DNA that is now in question.
The DNA testing and analysis is important to determine if the defendant is the actual guilty party.
This letter from the Travis County District Attorney's Office says this DNA mixture case wasn't conducted with the latest scientific developments, suggesting it can be retested.
To improve the quality of criminal justice through forensic science is going to cost money, and we need to dedicate the right amount of money to take advantage of all the advances in science.
But when DNA delays are already an issue at APD, retesting could add more delays for victims, survivors, and their families.
Any more delay is just more traumatizing for the individuals that we're working with.
That's why victim advocates are fighting to fund Austin's closed DNA lab to hire and train staff to tackle the untested kits and get a handle on the backlog.
We need to make sure that we can provide survivors with a sense of closure as soon as possible so that they can continue with their lives and heal.
Brittany Glass, KXAN News.
Thursday is the last public city council hearing on the DNA lab and its funding. Advocacy groups are pushing for two amendments. One would provide $500,000 to outsource 500 kits. The other would provide $1.4 million to hire 7 analysts and 1 supervisor. The city council will take a final vote in the middle of next month. The mixed DNA review impacts another high-profile case that's set for trial next month. Mark Norwood is accused of beating Deborah Baker to death in her home back in 1988. No arrest was made until 2011 when prosecutors say DNA evidence pointed to Norwood. We checked with Norwood's attorney, who tells us his client's DNA has already been retested. Analyzing mixed DNA is complicated, but we think it's important for you to understand what's at stake here. When an expert looks at evidence and finds more than one person's DNA on it, it's considered a mixed DNA sample. In court, it can be used to place a defendant at the crime scene or exclude them. The FBI has asked all DNA labs to follow a certain method to analyze mixed DNA. Part of the problem here is APD's lab was not doing that for many years, and that is what led to it being shut down 2 months ago. Finally, it's important to point out this is a nationwide issue. The FBI told labs across the country the method of analyzing mixed DNA is outdated and may have led to miscalculations. What led to this review in Travis County could lead to reviews nationwide.